It's not as overwhelming, guys. It really isn't.
Welcome to day 6 of 19 days of doing something for our home. The last series I did focused on decluttering, and I would go through the house and work on one little spot at a time, but this is always where it started. I really hoped that the basement would have been finished in 30 days last year, but unfortunately, one of our children sustained an injury that took up all of our time. When you are caring for a loved one and you are the parent, hands down, priority goes to taking care of the child. In our situation, we actually already have a child that requires a lot of our attention, so this kind of added to our situation. I'm also the daughter of a parent who is a chronic pain sufferer, and I did attend lots of appointments last year. In no way is this meant to minimize anybody's situation or to complain or anything like that. These are simply the facts. By letting you into my world a little bit, you have an idea of where my mind has been over the last 8 months. And that's why this is my encouragement to you. The moment people around me did not require my full attention, I cut out every other project I was working on and focused on this. I turned down conventions, I've turned down meetups. I stopped going out pretty much with everyone around me, because I needed time to breathe, but I also wanted to focus on something that would make my life better. Did I forget to mention that we also started homeschooling this year because of that injury? And it wasn't one kid we decided to keep home, it's 3. The reason why I share so much of my clutter and my decluttering process and all the things that I'm organizing is because I know what it's like to feel like there's no way out of it. I also know what it's like to know that there's no way out of it. And it is really easy to fall into a pit of despair and depression when things around you are not how you want them to be, even though you want them to be cleaned up and organized and decluttered so badly. Sometimes our circumstances do not allow for us to do this. And every step of the way, I've been focusing on little things I could do around me to maintain my space. Because I knew if I had those small things taken care of, when it was time to take care of the big stuff, I'd be ready. And while yes, I do mean that in a physical sense, I really mostly mean that in an emotional sense. This mess did not come about overnight. This was years in the making. So I don't expect to have it all cleaned up and organized in one fell swoop. But by taking care of the appliances in the kitchen, by organizing my food in the fake pantry, by adding a utensil holder in one of my drawers, all the clutter that I had in the house is getting taken care of, which means my mind is open. And some of that burden's been lifted, which means that a little bit at a time is working. The other day I told my husband that I thought it was so wild that people live their lives without clutter or distraction or heaviness. And it always seems like they have their life together. And when a big crazy thing happens, they're able to handle it really well. But if I compare my life to people who do not have the same circumstances that I have, I'm just going to be really pissed off and jealous. Which is exactly why I try not to compare myself to others. I've had people reach out to me asking if they could help me declutter, and my answer is always no. In the past, it might have been for shame, and I always give people a disclaimer before they come into my house because things aren't always working the way they need to. But that's the whole thing of it. Once everything is set up and organized and clean, it'll be done. And all those things I couldn't do before, I can finally take a step back, decide what to do, and then do them. If you're struggling to, just remember to give yourself grace.
Did you not know that actually folded up?